Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel React to Next, and in today's video we will create a product search autocomplete component. In this component I will cover React.js, Tailwind CSS, Axios library, Lodash library for the debouncing and React hooks like use state and use effect. So let's come to the VS Code and create a component. Now I am on the VS Code. I hope you remember previously we created a search autocomplete component with the help of fetch and Tailwind CSS library. So now what I am going to do here, instead of the fetch, I will implement the Axios. Also, this time I am going to use a different product library for fetching the product response. So let's create a new component inside the components folder with the name product search auto complete. Let's write this shortcut here. Okay, we have to add the extension. Now create the component react functional arrow component export. This is the shortcut. Now it creates a basic component. So let me write something inside this. This is a search auto complete example. Now import this component inside the app.jsx. Let me import it, product search autocomplete. Now start your application. pnpm run dev. Now open this inside the browser. Now you can see the result. So this is the component we are creating. Inside this component, I will create a search field. So this is the main page. So let me add some classes here. Border padding 5 test. Okay, padding. Oh, sorry, this is padding. So P5 border radius. In this case, I will use rounded MD margin from the left. Yeah, all sides. This is the part. So this is going to be a basic search autocomplete example. Let me give some a heading here. Product search autocomplete example. Now inside this I will create a search field. Input type text value. Initially there is nothing. Name, if you want you can give the name, but this is the only field here, so I am leaving it. And you can arrange it like this if we have multiple attributes here. And class border 1px padding 4, that is 12 3, that is 3px. So there is, I think, something wrong here. Let me zoom out it. Yeah, this is the correct one. And in the heading I will add a margin from the bottom, margin bottom 4. And let me reduce this screen. Now it's much better. And for this I will make the width of the input full. Placeholder search products. And now you can see it looks like this. Also I can add the rounded borders, rounded MD. Now you can see this. Okay, so this is an example of text center. This is an example of product search autocomplete. Okay, here I will show the list of the products. So let me create another div. Inside this div, I will manage all the products. So I can take it as the flex, and inside this I will create a card for the product, and it will have the product heading, and button, add to card, class bg blue, text white, rounded empty, padding by 3, padding x 3, okay, it reduce it to 1, and make the button in the center. This is the one way, but you can do this like you can wrap it with another div, and inside that div you can simply add text center. It will make that button in the center of the card. Here, let me arrange the card. For the card I should add a border as well, or shadow, drop shadow, or just shadow lg. Now you can see the shadow padding 4, so it looks like this with the padding. Font for the heading, font bold, margin bottom 3, and after the heading let me add some details here. Lorem, okay, so I'm reducing the description. Okay, now it looks something like this. Now I am duplicating the product. Let me add some comments. Card, product, card. This is the product card, and I'm repeating the card here. So now we have two cards. So inside the wrapper I can add gap 4. Now you can see the gap here in the between of the card. Also add some space at the bottom of the search bar, margin bottom 4. Okay, now it looks like this. Also from the description I should add a border, margin bottom 3. Same for the other card. So this is how it will look. When we will search something inside the product, it will filter out the products card. Otherwise, it will show all the products here inside this. Also, you can do one more thing here, but we will do that thing with the development with the after implementing the API. So first of all, we will call the API, the product API, the dummy API, and then we will fetch all the records. Let me close the terminal now. For this search, I will add a state here with the name const keyword set keyword use state. So initially the value for the search is empty. Now, if there is any change in the search field, I will update this and it will change the value of this keyword. So this keyword I will pass back to the input field, and it will make the input field as a controlled element. Now on change of this element, I will change the keyword here, event.target.value. So this is going to generate an event e and the target dot value. So it will change the value of this keyword. Let me type something. Yeah, now this is working. For example, I can just show this after this one, so that you can know, yeah, this is really changing here. See, now you can see whatever I am typing on this, is displaying after the search. You are searching for, we can add a message, you are searching for. Now you can see, if I am searching for font, it will say the font. I can also make it a little bold by using the strong tag. So now if I search for apple, it will say apple. If I search for font, it will say font. I think this looks much better. Let me add some space after this margin bottom 3. And we can also add background PG gray and some padding. Okay, make it 100. Okay, now if I search something, font, apple, it looks like this. Also for the main heading, we can make it bold, font, bold. Okay, and font size text XL, it looks like this. Actually, I'm repeating all the things like I'm writing the classes so that you can know how we can add the classes. And based on your need, you can make those changes. So now we have the only thing is here, we have to call a function that will call the fetch the API response and will display the products inside this. For that thing, we can do const products. I created a new state with the name products and set products. Here I will set the list of product inside this, and initially the value will be empty array. So let me add the condition here on the product. If there are products, then products.map single product, and this second value parameter is here is the index, and then I will return the product. Okay, so now we have this thing, like we will have a product, we have the index, and then I will pass the key here. So for now I don't have anything, so let me pass just the product index here, product index, but we should use the product ID here to make it unique, because in React.js the key should be unique. Now let me call the API. For this, I'm creating a method const fetch products data. This is an arrow function, and also I will use effect. Okay, use effect. Yeah, and here I will pass the keyword. So if there is any change in the keyword, it will call this fetch function. So this is how that is going to work. If there is any change in the keyword, it will call this function, and then we will fetch the API response here. So let's check this console.log test, and inside the browser right click on the inspect and check the console. If we type something on this, you can see we have the text test here on the response. Let me clear it and check it at apple. So now you can again see we have something in the response. Let me update this with the response plus keyword. Okay, now you can see we have the apple in the search, and you can see that in the response. So this is how we can test. Now I will call the API and then we will update that result inside the set product. Okay. So let me call the API here. So for this, I will use a variable the response data from the Axios library and Axios. This is what we have to use. For this, first of all, I have to install those packages. So open the terminal. You can also open it from here on the top terminal menu and new, and then you can write the command to install the packages. So I will use, let me go inside the project cd learn react, and inside this I will install two libraries, pnpm install axios, and second one is load-as. Yeah, that is, now it will install these libraries. Then I can implement this here. It will take few minutes. So let me tell you why we are using those library. This is a client library, client HTTP library. So that we use for the API responses, getting the API responses, fetching the APIs. And second one is the utility library for the JavaScript that we are going to use here for the debouncing. So so now the process is completed. So I should use this for getting the response from the API. Here we are going to use a fake products library. This one is the fake product library that we are going to use, the fake store API for getting the response. So here I'm using this fake products, and let's check what is inside the response. Here, let's open the console again, refresh the page. I think there is some error, the Axios. Okay, Axios, I think I did not import it. Axios, there is some problem in the import. Let me try it. Import Axios AXIOS from Axios. So this is something I was expecting there. Axios. Okay. Now if you can see in the browser, you can see the response. I have the promises. One more thing we will do here is we will perform this with the help of async and await. We will wait until we get the response from the API. Now check again in the console. You will see now we have the response data. Inside this you will see we have the data, which is the product data in the console. So now also if you can do one more thing here, like instead of this you can just check it by the network tag, because when we will call the API it will see here. So now you can see here we have the response of the products. So this is something what we can use for debugging purpose. If we have the response 200, then we will use this data for our application. Let me see. If the response dot status is equals to 200, then we will set products response dot data. So now you can see here we have all the products here. The one more thing I will do, I will add the title from the product and the ID. Okay. In the response, I will add product dot title and instead of this I will use product dot ID. For the description, we have the description, so I will add it. Product dot description. Now you can see we have the title, we have the description. Now you can see one more thing here. The UI is little breaking. We can do one more thing, like if we want, we can make it as a grid and two columns. So now we have the search field, we have a message for the keyword, we have the list of the products. Now what next I have to do is I will remove the dummy product from here. Now we have the correct response from the API. So I will perform the filtering on the data. For this one, I will add a variable products, and inside this product I have the list of all the products. Let me open this inside the network tab, and now you can see if I type something here, it calls the API. Inside this I can see we have the title, so I will perform the filtering on the title. If so, the filtered product const filtered product is equals to dot filter product dot title dot includes the keyword. Okay, and this is going to be the search response. In case we don't have the keywords, if the keywords length is empty, then we will return and pass set the actual value, actual product response. Otherwise, we will perform a filtering and then we will set the filtered result. So here we are performing filtering on the products. This is the response products array. Here we are checking if there is anything inside the search keyword, and then we are updating the result. Okay, so this is how it is going to work. For this I will search inside the products. Let me search something in this for man. Now you can see all the results are related to the man. Let me search something at this is the lock. Okay, let me do something lock. Now you can see there is word lock inside this. So this is how we can perform the filtering. Now we have to use debounce because there is also a bug inside this. If you see, when I type something like if I added L here, it is calling the API. If I say O, it is calling the API. What I want, it should only call the API when I stop the typing. So for this, we are going to use the library load_as, and this will have a function debounce that we are going to use here. So let me import it, import dash from load_as. And now from this I will use the function dot debounce, and it will wrap the current function and it will have a time. This is the wait time. Like if I type something, it will wait for 300 millisecond, and then it will call the API. Like if I type lock, it waits for some time. Let me increase the time for at least 3 seconds. Okay, man. Now you can see it is waiting, then it is calling the API. Now you can see when we type something in the search bar, like if you type man, still it is calling the API 3 times. So let me try to increase the time to 3 seconds. And then I add something in the search bar. Now you can see when I type the other keyword, still it is calling the API multiple times. So this is another issue here. So for resolving that issue, we have to use callback. So let's implement use callback in this. In the use callback, I will wrap up this function with a use callback. Use callback, and then I will put it here. It will have an empty dependency array. That means it will call only one time when we will make any change inside the keyword. So let's try this on the browser again. I will type man here, and now you can see this is calling the API only one time. Let me change it with woman. So now this is calling the API only one time. Now if you noticed, there is still one problem. Like if you search for something like the woman, you will see the API is calling one time, but the result is not updating or the result is not filtering. Let me try it for the rain. The API is calling one time, but the updated result is not displaying here. So what we can do here, we can try one thing. In the use callback, we can pass the keyword. Some people or some developers might use this. They will pass this as the dependency. Now what happens if I type man, it will call the API again multiple times. So this is not the solution. Let me try one more time. I will use woman here, and it will say, you will say it is again calling the API multiple times. So this is not the solution. Instead of passing this as a dependency, I will pass it as an argument inside the debounce function. And when I am calling this API, here I will pass this argument. So now if I try to search something like man, you will say that you will see the API is calling only one time, and now the result is filtering. Let me try one more time the woman, and you will see the API is called one time and the result is updating. So this is how we can implement debouncing with use callback and use effect. I hope you like this video. If you have any query and question, then please don't forget to ask me in the comment. Also, after this video, I will add an article on this component on my website react2next.com, and you can see a complete article. Even you can get the complete code from there. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for this kind of videos. Thank you.